Digitalna tehnologija obećava bliskost, zabavu, pa čak i produljenje životnog vijeka. Mogućnost vršenja milijardi proračuna na džepnim uređajima dala nam je utisak da smo otkrili novu dimenziju u kojoj je sve u našem životu moguće dokazati, pratiti i pretvoriti u novac. Ali jesu li praktičnost, profit i nadzor jedine primjene ove nove tehnološke moći? Buntovnici modernog doba koriste svoje vještine kako bi se suprotstavili tehnološkim gigantima i otvorili vrata drugačijoj budućnosti u kojoj ljudi neće biti proizvod.
We just need to be sure that where we're going to be working with the balloon. If it, for instance, blows onto these cases, it could burst. They're very fragile, disturbingly so. It's very difficult. I have a strong sense of urgency to see a launch. What I'm also aware of, though, is my sense of urgency can often cloud my better judgment, and I can insist on doing something that is just simply high risk.
It's going to pop. It's going to break off my hand. No, it is. It's really going to break off. It's actually going to break. We have to let go of this.
I'm Julian Oliver. These days, and for quite some time, I've called myself a critical engineer. Also an artist, but first and foremost a critical engineer. One of the things that I do in my own work is to create projects which engender a healthy paranoia. The projects like Men in Grey, which was 2009. We were wandering around various cities dressed as men in grey suits with suitcases that had displays on them, collecting and harvesting chat sessions and websites, and presenting it on the surface of this briefcase. We achieved a lot of paranoia. When you start to show that technology is not necessarily being transparent in itself as to their dealings with it, you see some pretty interesting moments. Jaws open, worry, people getting their friends running over, checking. Many of us had known for a long time and even warned against the risks of having implicit trust in technology we don't understand, most particularly network infrastructure. Newsweek is a plug. It redirects all of the traffic coming from the router. The owner of that Newsweek box can manipulate the news read on that wireless network. You can manipulate sporting results or electoral results or news headlines. We see the logo and we see the graphics and we think that it's come directly from the BBC to our phone. If it's in the air, it can be manipulated, and you can be manipulated too. Engineering is perhaps the most transformative language of our time. Engineering shapes the way that we move, communicate and think. Critical engineering seeks to look at engineering as something that we need to grapple with on political terms. The deep sweep is a means to read the surveillance infrastructure in our skies, from the Earth to the stratosphere. Recently, there are a large number of unmanned aerial vehicles that are made by companies whose clients are governments, collecting information from cellular networks on mobile communications. These aircraft and their communications are outside of the domain of what's understood to be civilian knowledge. The need to understand what's going on up there becomes very important.
We started learning about drones and their role a lot from the use of drones by the US military and contractors in places like Fatah, which is part of Pakistan, in Yemen, and in Somalia. The ones used for surveillance are there to be persistently in the air, and it's collecting everything through all the waves, GSM signals, photography, infrared. We know very little, however, about the actual operation of surveillance drones in countries like Germany and other places because there's no way of gathering that information. Most of these operations are secret.
So this object here is what would be referred to as the payload of our project. It's the very first version, and it contains radio frequency equipment, a very, very small computer, and a little what's called a microcontroller, which is a very simple sort of computer. It's designed to go into the stratosphere, carried by a weather balloon. When you're getting up into 15 and 20 kilometres above the Earth, that's when you would potentially be above a so-called drone and the satellites that they're actually communicating to, and one of the hopes is that maybe we'll catch a little bit of that kind of thing and at least see evidence of communication going upward. At the point of its absolute peak, the balloon bursts and a parachute is enacted and it comes all the way back down again.
We have a bunch of different antennas for receiving different kinds of radio signals. This one goes from 0 to 30 megahertz.
That's a lot of marine, naval, military stuff.
With this antenna, we find, for example, mobile phones. And these antennas are traditionally used to look at satellites or receive signals from satellites, but we're actually pointing it downwards to see gigahertz receptions or transmissions from what's going on below where this is in the sky.
Initially, we just need to get it up there and then let it do its work, and then we'll be able to make further adjustments and improve its performance. Yeah.
The first launch in a series.
We're just doing a full power startup test. We don't want to know what we're actually taking out there when we go out there very soon. No fix yet.
I'll go outside for a little bit. I'm just waiting for a GPS fix to let this one receive the signals from the GPS satellite. If it doesn't have a fix, it seems that it doesn't report the position properly. Oh. Julian?
Yeah. Nothing yet.
Reset it and restart it. I mean, restart the connection.
Okay.
No, not really. We had it running for a couple of days on one battery, and that was great. But now all of the batteries just drained extremely quickly, and we don't know why. Let's get this one in. See, it's at 30. It's low.
Wow.
It's not getting enough juice already, you know. So we're really not in the best place.
Oh.
We're just horribly behind, but you know, you get that in the big jobs. Where's the knife, actually?
How many hours have you slept in the past week?
None last night. I had 4 the day before. It was quite good. You didn't have any?
No, that's right.
Yep, nothing.
Well, that's not good.
Don't really give up until you have truly lost. We're just bloody-minded, as you'd say in New Zealand. It's a good disease to have. Yep, I think this one. There is one large contingency, and that's the aerospace authorities. You won't be able to just launch a balloon with a big shiny ball underneath it full of computational equipment without a bit of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork, I think. To be safe, we will get a new battery tomorrow morning, because we really don't want it to fail. Half a satellite, half an almost satellite. Technology will not go away. I would say it's a very serious thing. Every time something bad happens, governments take one extra step towards extending the surveillance apparatus, and we basically have no movement, really no momentum going the other way.
It's very important to look at drones that are used for surveillance, to collect data. It's creating an archive that is permanent. This data is being used to define what is the standard behavior of a normal group or person, and as an output, what is the outlier behavior. And that creates a very sophisticated one-way surveillance system. And is operating in a grey sphere of law, I would say human rights regulations. The drone in itself is just a flying object. What matters is what kind of technology is being attached and who is using that information. IMSI catcher is an extra antenna that pretends to be one of the official ones and makes your device communicate with them so it can be listened to. It's commonly known that MC catchers are being massively used by law enforcement in many countries. And we know that MC catchers are used on drones.
If you're seeing police departments now acquiring drone technology from small to big, built such that they can be fitted with cameras, then you can be sure that our skies are going to be full of a hell of a lot of rights compromising metal. Quite clearly, there's a lot of interest in making sure that we, the people, don't know about it and don't know the extent of it. So how else? A balloon, some hardware, what else? I mean, what else do we have?
The major problem yesterday was the battery, and now we have, well, actually we got another charger and we got a new battery as well. This is 110 grams together, and sending 110 grams extra up into the stratosphere doesn't make sense. So what we're doing is just putting the right kind of connector directly on this box, so we don't have to have this dead weight. It will give us hopefully a couple of 1,000 meters of extra altitude before the balloon bursts, just based on the decreased weight. We're gonna launch this thing into the stratosphere, and then we will not see it for a few hours. Hopefully we will see it again. It's 20 to 2. We need to go. Julian, you know where the other parachute is? Navigating chaos. It's exciting to explore what is out there. When we get the data back, we would have to try to figure out what it actually is and what it comes from.
We have no illusion of being able to read the contents of communication between mysterious high-altitude vehicles and the satellites that they talk to. We're only interested in fingerprinting devices, providing material for people to be able to guess and ultimately determine what is in the skies above them.
Burst altitude of 25.4 kilometres, and that would have 158 minutes to get there. 158 minutes to burst. We're just looking at calculating how high it will get and how much helium is required, because that indicates the drift of the balloon potentially, and it can make a difference between 20 kilometres and 200 kilometres. This is okay for us.
Yeah, but we will land in Poland.
Yeah, and we have to be prepared to learn some
Polish.
Some Polish, at least the basic greetings. And are you the farmer? Farmer, what's farmer in Polish? I think farmer's going to be a big word for us. We can't really wait too long because we have permission for a limited period, and we're already losing that permission as we chat. My inclination at the moment is to pick a better day where it's more pleasant. But if the wind just calms down a little bit, then maybe there's hope. So your tendency would be to launch now and then jump in the car and go and try and find it immediately driving over into Poland?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a sail, with a spherical sail. Yeah. We can give it a go. We can use these as anchors too, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, seems to be good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, it is very similar to certain kinds of squids, the bodies of squids, yeah. That was easily 8 kilos, I reckon. Sudden pull.
It's not me I'm worried about surviving, it's the balloon actually.
There's a lot of stress on the neck of the balloon. You're going to have to hold it extremely tight, and it's no joke. It's like it's a.
So don't.
Whoa! You have to really grab it, and grab it with 2 hands on the rubber. It would be obviously quite cathartic having this important sort of finish to what has otherwise been quite a bit of work. But I'm a little concerned about
The weather balloon loss, for instance, for the meteorological community is 3 out of 5 are lost. You ready for this? Man, I can't believe we're doing this. We're nuts. Nuts, aren't we?
Ready?
We're doing this.
Yeah. I worry about. Can it really lift this weight? I mean, it's supposed to.
Supposed to be able to.
Yeah. So we just.
Okay, shake hands. 1, 2, 3.
Trees.
just above the trees. Unbelievable, there it goes. It's pretty incredible to have done that. Slightly nerve-wracking. Where will this thing go? Will we ever see it again?
2 hours came, 2.5 hours came, 3 hours came, 4, and then 5, and then we started to become a little bit despondent. Oh, damn, you know, we've lost track of it. So we went to bed and thought, all is lost, all is lost. And then sure enough, the next morning we got an SMS, and then we checked the location, and it's Kaliningrad. It's flying over Kaliningrad, and eventually a very uncomfortable silence from it, and then another SMS, and it landed in a field near Minsk, Belarus. It's over 1,000 kilometers away, which is incredible, really. The balloon went up to just over 10 kilometers, and then it probably encountered high altitude winds and was just pushed east at a massive speed. We believe that that the deep sweep is the first civilian Earth to stratosphere scan. It's routinely done by military, but we believe we're the first. We got plenty of interesting forms, if you like, shapes that indicate traffic and activity. If I just drop the scroll bar down, we actually see the waveform representation. So this is the low frequencies, this is the mid-range, and this is the high frequencies. And we see, as we go from tick, tick, tick across like this, point to point, we see where there was energetic phenomena. We're seeing that there's peaks and drops and rises and falls, much like a mountain range, I suppose. The low frequencies are predictably very energetic. You've obviously got a lot of marine, nautical, astronomical in the sense of radio astronomy. You've got a hell of a lot of stuff that's known to be occurring there, and it's predictably high. We started to see different things the higher we got, and we see some very interesting traffic in the mid-range, 10 kilometers above the Earth, and we start seeing activity at 1,300 megahertz. You know, we start seeing there's stuff going on there, and what's happening at that altitude at 1,300 megahertz. You know, it's curious for us. And then in the high, there were these very interesting sort of last-minute bursts. No passenger planes known to be flying at that time, and they're not speaking on those frequencies anyway. So, what is that? Maybe it's a scientific project of some sort. Maybe it is military or whatever. There are some very distinct man-made shapes that you can only. And what is that doing at that altitude? I mean, this is curious. We don't know what it is, but it's exciting to know that we can actually get up there and see it and do that. We caught something, obviously, there. Lots of people can do this. It's not illegal to study the air above us, it's just that the means are not available. We'll come up with a nice sort of a recipe of how to do that launch, get the data and upload it to this wiki, and then we can start comparing.